close.
Yeah, it's foggy in here.
Right up here on this hill. Katie's gonna take our picture for us. Right up there. Alright. I'll take your picture in 3, 2, 1. There we go. Now I'm blind. Be glad the lights are on. It's worse when they're off. My glasses are on. We're gonna head a little further in. As we do, watch your head smooth here. We've got a couple of low spots, and there's another one right after this on the driver's side.
That's my side.
That's my side too.
This is Solomon.
Watch your head.
Oh my gosh.
Oh.
My phone is about to hit that.
And that's water
Driver's side. Watch your head there.
Oh my gosh. Oh, we're going into the dark parts. Okay, we're getting dark.
Alright, we're getting deeper, yay. Now I'm kind of scared.
Alright. You guys been in caves before?
Yeah, I've been on this trip before.
You remember all of it? You want to give a tour? Not that
No.
much?
Popcorn.
Oh, you remember popcorn. I cannot. Every cave got 3 zones where we entered, called the entrance zone. You can remember that, right?
Yeah.
Ahead of us, what would you call that? No. What does it look like up there?
Dark.
Yeah. That's the dark zone. These are technical terms, okay? Entrance zone, dark zone. Where we are right now, where the light and the dark meet. Anyone want to try for this one?
Yes.
See, that makes sense, but no. How about the twilight zone?
Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we're in the twilight zone right now.
That's good.
So animals from outside, they're not going to come much further than this. There's no food in the cave for them. And they still need to see to find their way out again. So this is about as far as daylight from outside will come. Right over here, this is a garden bed. It was put in the 1930s during the Great Depression. The landowner needed to make a little extra money. What would you grow in a cave?
Mushrooms.
You knew that one. Yeah, you grew mushrooms in here. Little butt-top mushrooms, sold them at area markets, made it through the Depression. Mushrooms are a fungus. They don't require sunlight to grow. They're pretty much the only thing that's going to grow in a cave, except for the cave itself. The cave is still growing. So all along the ceiling, you can look right overhead. There's some more back here as well. These are soda straws. They are thin and hollow, like a straw, with water coming down the center, and they are the beginning of the larger formations that we see in here. So if it's on the ceiling, it started as one of these little soda straws. Now we're going to go into that dark zone, and we'll talk about how we got the cave in the first place, now the formations that we see in here.
Are we gonna get lights?
I hope I don't get scared.
Sit down there.
That hand got set right there.
Okay.
Oh. Yeah.
to the auditorium, the largest area in our cave. You guys know how caves form? No? Well, it's by water. Not really a river. The river is going to be on the surface physical processes. Down here it's going to be chemical. So, with the right kind of rock, this is limestone, very porous, lots of holes. We get water coming down from the surface and groundwater. Mixes with carbon dioxide, it makes a weak acid. And all this rock dissolves away. It's all been dissolved, holes get larger, water flows faster. Eventually it drains out, leaving the cave behind, and these formations start to grow. So water is still coming down from the surface, picks up a mineral called calcite from the rock, which all of these are made of. And those little soda straws that we saw, once they get about 5 or 6 inches long, the hollow center starts to plug up, they become solid, and you get stalactites all along the ceiling. And we've got a special type of stalactite in here called a cave curtain or drapery, right up here. Formed by water dripping down at an angle instead of straight down, so along the edge, over and over again, leaving behind that calcite. And water drips down to the ground, and you get stalagmites growing up. There's an easy way to remember which is which. Stalactite has a C for ceiling, stalagmite has a G for ground. It works, I've never mixed them up. Stalactite and stalagmite go together, we call it a column, from floor to ceiling. And one more formation we see a lot of in here, over along the wall, and this is flowstone. Formed by water coming out between layers in the rock, flowing right on over. And that reddish color is caused by iron in the soil, so it's basically rust. Calcite on its own is going to be pure white, and we will see some of that in here. Now, this stalagmite right here, this big one, how old do you think this is? A couple thousand.
20,000.
20,000, 2,000, 20,000. Anyone else? No one else wants to take a guess?
Wait,
You want to try again? Okay.
100,000.
Okay, 100,000. Well, the official answer, it's very old. I don't know how old it is. But I do know about how fast it grows. So these formations, they grow about 1 cubic inch every 100 years. It's very slow. Now to put that in perspective for you, when you come back in 100 years, congratulations, it's gonna look like it's got a fresh coat of paint on it. And that's about it. It's like an ice cube melted right over it. It's not going to look much different than it does today. So, I don't know how old this formation is, but I do know the exact age of one formation in this cave, and we're gonna go take a look at that.
Cousin, with that one. Thanks. It's not raining, it's the water dripping. That's what happened to me last time I sit over there. Isn't that the pipe from up there?
Did you look at the map on the gift shop wall?
No,
No?
I've been here.
You remember it then? Yeah. It doesn't really belong to
It's all the way
here.
No.
was a well cave. It was put in 1941 by the landowner. Where he took in. He wanted running water for his house. So he got together with the cave owner at that time. They did all their measurements and their calculations, and they figured they'd be drilling 10 feet on the other side of that wall. They missed, as you can see. That drill bit came crashing down into the cave, and now we've got a big hole in the ceiling. And instead of pulling it out and causing more damage to the cave, they kept drilling, and they did find water about 50 feet below us in our lower level. There's really only water there when it rains. It doesn't make a very good water well. So this closed off on the surface today, but it tells us a couple of interesting things about the cave. This was first put in, it was cast iron black. Now we've got this white coat of calcite on here, becoming part of the cave. And up at the ceiling, see those tree roots hanging down?
Yeah.
Now, there's some little ridges that run towards the wall. And those little ridges, those are baby cave curtains. They're just over 80 years old and about 3/4 of an inch. Think about that and take a look at the curtains in front of us. Does anybody want to do the math for me? Not really? Okay. I had that. So we're going to head on. We'll get a chance to experience the cave in its natural state. Talk about some of the lighting systems used in here. But past these curtains, there's a column, and behind that column, there's a dome of snow white calcite. Take a look. It's very pretty. That dome of calcite is right through here. Dog named Juno. Juno was a bloodhound. She was chasing a small animal and ran right through a hole in the rock bluff. Juno's owner, John Knox, you could hear his dog barking. He crawled through that hole after the dog, found himself in the cave. That's how he discovered he had a cave on his land. So, we're going to shut off the lights in here. See how dark it would have been for John and Juno. You can darken any screens on your phones for just a minute, or cover them up. And hold on to something. You can always shut your eyes. You guys ready? Here we go. There are 2 places on Earth we can experience complete darkness. One's here in a cave, the other's on the bottom of the ocean. We're not going there today.
Oh.
Yes, sorry, I know you're disappointed. Tell me what your hands by your face. See how dark it is.
I can't see, no.
There's no light in here for your eyes to adjust to. You know, John came in after the dog. That's better, right?
A little bit.
A little bit?
Yeah.
You in a cave like this?
No, baby.
No.
Not enough for that.
I didn't fun.
Well, I'd come in and get the dog and get out, and I think I'd hit my head doing that. I don't really feel like running into stalactites in here. I've done that before.
That's not the place it is.
We can do that. The cave was seen by candlelight in one form or another up to 1887, and that steam powered generator went in. And that generator is powering the electric lights in the cave. 1887. Most of the states didn't have electricity yet. They were still using kerosene lanterns. So people come from all over to camp out, not for the cave. They want to see the light bulbs hanging in the cave. Something new they've never seen before. But hanging lights like this, if you look at that far wall over there, they cast some shadows and everything sort of looks like It's not very interesting. So in the 1970s, we brought in a light expert. These light bulbs will see the ground. Today, you see the cave like this. Makes a difference, doesn't it? Yeah. Now you can see the colors and textures that we have instead of everything just looking the same. Turn on. We'll stop at the second two sinkholes. We're going to drive over the first. At the second, we'll talk about the water in the cave and some of the animals that live in here. Now, that first sinkhole, driver's side, you'll get a good look at it. And passenger side, you'll see it on the way back.
So the ones I picked, I just
If I would have dropped my phone down there, it would have been RIP. Because I was like hanging my phone over the. Oh, that's.
This is our second sinkhole. You can stand up if you need a better look. That first sinkhole we drove over, it's a bit like a funnel, it's about 25 feet deep. This one's 35 to 40. And it's basically a dry creek bed right now. So if we had water in here today, this is where we would see it. When we get water from the surface through other sinkholes, there's one about 3 miles away to the south-southwest from Springfield Branson Airport. All that water that flows through here makes the other sinkhole we drove over. That one backs up a bit like a kitchen sink. And it's all going to discharge at Indian Spring. That's right down the hill from the visitor center on the banks of the Little Fast River. All the water flows through the cave and to the river. Now, we mostly see water in during the spring. We get a lot of rain. And sometimes we do get a lot of water in the cave. We've got a high water line right here. That's from last March, so about a year ago. It's a lot of water, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, up here in the Jeep, we see a little more than a half mile of cave. And we do have an additional 3.5 miles below us in our lower level. That's right down here. And that lower level, it's about 18 inches high, it's 3 feet wide, and it's going to be a belly crawl for an hour and a half before you see it down there. Does that sound like fun? Yeah.
No. If I see a snake, I'm out.
There's not going to be a snake down there. How would a snake be all the way down there? I think it sounds like fun down there. But it is pretty much off limits except for maintenance and scientists specifically studying the cave. So, we do have some animals that live in the water that don't evaporate. They are. And one of them is an endangered species. That one's the Ozark cave fish. It's only found in a few caves in the area. We also have the bristly crayfish or crawdad, and a salamander called the grotto salamander. They're all very small, they're only a few inches long, and they're completely white and completely blind since they spend their whole lives in the dark. That's what we have down there. What do you think we find up here? Yeah, we do have bats in the cave. We've got a population of about 25, called tricolored bats. They're the size of the end of my thumb. Their wingspan's about 2.5 to 3 inches. They weigh as much as a quarter. And they're solitary bats. So we don't get the big colonies you see in other caves. They come in here and find a crack or crevice in the ceiling to hibernate. The rest of the year they're out in the trees. Do you guys want to see a bat?
Yeah.
You have to find one for me. I don't know where they are.
I'll look at them.
Okay. They're gonna look like little shadows. You know, that big.
What if I found one and killed him?
Well, we'll go back and look at it.
Yep.
Yep. There are times I think I see them and nope, it's just a shadow. Yeah, it happens. Sometimes you have to double check and it's hard to tell. So if you happen to spot one though, let me know. All right, we're gonna head on and we'll learn more about the water in the cave.
There's usually a movie up here. Yep.
See, that's maybe.
I'm joking.
What's the moon's flashing? Thunder.
We've got a short movie here.
We're doing some water sampling here at the Spring to Drains Fantastic Cameras. These are some of our samplers. A spring is the drainage point for a cave system. What I want to do today is give you a look at the whole drainage system, and it's going to be a good day for doing it because we have had a lot of rain in the past couple days. That's why the spring is so large. Water goes into the cave system through things like sinkholes and then moves through the cave and discharges here at the spring. The flow of the spring today is about 9,000 gallons a minute, and every bit of that goes through Fantastic Caverns. About 3/4 of the runoff water in the Ozarks moves into the cave system. We're a mile from the spring here at a vertical entrance into the Fantastic system. This is one of the most open sinkholes in the whole Fantastic Cavern system. It's so open, in fact, that walnuts, the borch in here, make it all the way through the cave. I could do without all the drips, I think, but that's the way the water gets in. And of course, that's not only does the water get in that way, that's the way food gets in for the cave animals and contaminants get in too. I believe the jeeps get in some way other than that, though. Off-road! Off-road! The cave is here because limestone can be dissolved by water. This piece of limestone weighs about 1 pound. There is this much limestone dissolved in every 1,000 gallons of water discharging from the spring today. You can imagine the enormous volumes of water and long periods of time required to form the cave. Basically, a cave is a drainage spring system. Since caves are part of spring systems, storms can flood them and make them dangerous. This isn't your normal Ozark boat trip. The fish, the crayfish, and most of the other cave animals are tiny, white, and blind. Although they spend their entire lives in the cave, they depend on the surface for their food. When contaminants come in from the surface, they threaten the life here. With cave systems, whatever goes down comes up. Pollution threatens all life. By studying groundwater and by working to protect its quality, we can protect the beauty of the cave and preserve our quality of life.
Alright, right now, 120 feet below the surface. It does spin back another 150 feet or so behind the screen, where it dead ends in a clay wall. Can't go any further than that. The cave was found in 1862. It wasn't explored until 5 years later. In 1867, John Knox put an ad in the Springfield newspaper asking for cave explorers to come explore his cave. That ad was answered by the Springfield Athletics Club. They were seasoned cave explorers. They'd been in several caves in the area before. They had their own equipment, and they knew what they were doing. But John had a little bit of surprise when they showed up at his door. He had 12 young women ready to explore his cave. Now, they were teenagers, so, naturally, they had to write their names on the wall. We're going to head back, and I'll show you where those names are written.
Never. No. We're going to go see the names.
That.
You don't? Yeah, you can't text or anything. Oh. Well, I probably got 5G.
That was not good.
water.
Look where the animals are there.
I don't see any. Did you say in a croissant? Did you just say a croissant was in there?
I'm done with it. We can do this.
Now we gotta go this way.
Mommy, are we going to try again?
So they're making you.
We're going back down.
This is so close.
Right here, February 27th, 1867.
Isn't no? Today's February 26th.
We've got a bit of a low spot right here on the passenger side.
Uh-huh.
Watch your head. Right. Now, the cave was found in 1862. What was going on in America at that time? There it is. Yeah, it was the American Civil War. When John found the cave, he actually covered the entrance with brush. He didn't tell anyone about it. So at that time, Missouri was a battleground state. Either side, Union or the Confederacy, they could have come in and taken his land, his house, all his resources, including the cave. And they wanted caves, not just for storage or shelter, because they had something they needed. They wanted caves that were rich in nitrates. These are usually found with large bat populations, good bat guano, which we don't have here. They would have come in looking. They would have taken the soil, put it in a large vat, like this, called a leaching vat. They pour water over that, over and over again, all the nitrates out, come out of the bottom as a muddy slurry. They take that outside, pour it into a kettle or an open flame, boil it down. As the water is evaporated, they get small white crystals forming along the bottom and the rim. These were potassium nitrate. You probably know better as saltpeter. They grind up the saltpeter, mix it with sulfur and charcoal. What did that make?
Gunpowder.
Yeah, they made gunpowder with that. It was in short supply during the Civil War, so everybody wanted it. And if anyone found out John Knox had a cave on his land, they would come in here looking for something we don't even have, probably destroying the cave in the process. So because he hid it, we can still enjoy all these beautiful formations today. By 1867, the war was over, and those young women could come in and explore the cave for the first time. Artorium here, fragmented in history. In 1920s, during Prohibition, it was an illegal speakeasy, a nightclub, alcohol, gambling, music, the whole thing. It didn't last very long. One bootlegger shot another. Yeah, they kind of ruined that for everyone. Sheriff couldn't ignore that. He had to shut it down. And in the 1960s, this stage was built. And we actually had music acts here on Saturday nights. It was a radio broadcast called Farmerama. We had Buck Owens in and Ray Price, Presley Country Jubilee from Branson. They got their start on this very stage. So a lot of interesting things over the years. Still the stage lights, if you look up, they're still up there. Do you guys have any questions? No questions? Okay. Well, we've talked about how water formed the cave and all the formations in here. We're going to go take a look at some of the damage that water can do to a cave. Yeah? I have the last of the tour. Here, try my radio. Deformation tremor.
Did you get water drip on you?
Okay. Cut that handle. We're gonna head on.
Oh.
And then let's say what we done. And then
Are we going to the hotel after? Because I need to charge my phone. It's about to go. See, we're going that way.
Watch your head through here. Very low and very sharp.
I have to like lean back.
You've got a slightly lower ceiling right here. Driver's side. Watch your head here.
There's a
A
driver's
bit
side.
lower.
Oh my gosh. A little bit lower. I got to like lay down. I'm literally laying down on Logan or Gage.
Take a look. All this rock right here. Right along here. At one point in time, that all used to be part of the ceiling. What happened? It was full of water. When that drained out, the ceiling couldn't support itself. So it collapsed. This happened several times. Water would rise, get in along cracks and joints in the rock, dissolving it, weakening it. And it would collapse again when the water drained out. So we've got 3 areas of collapse in here. First, this shelf right overhead. The second's right here. And the last is that big footprint on the ceiling. This has reached the point of stability. This is dome shaped. It's very stable. We don't need to worry about it collapsing anymore. You believe me, right?
No.
No.
You remember how slow everything grows in here, right? 1 cubic inch every 100 years. You can always look how big these formations are up here. Right? They've been growing a very long time. This would have been one of the earlier things that happened in the formation of the cave. So we really don't need to worry about it collapsing. That helps, right? A little bit. Helps at all. Now, we're going to head through this tunnel. As we do, look up. You'll see the highest concentration of stalactites in the cave. I'm not there yet. I'll let you know when we're there. Now, our next stop's got some of the largest and prettiest formations. It's also the first area the explorers came to when they came in. I'm going to show you how they would have seen that in 1867. Make sure you look up.
On your wall, and I'll see you later.
In 1867, came in here, used candle lanterns for light. Unlike this, and that's not going to burn out. There we go. It's very simple. Candle in a tin can. Affects the light. Not one of the guys explained. You guys get light coming through here?
A little bit.
A little bit?
Yeah.
Yeah, check with those strips of water as well, so you don't find yourself in the dark. That would be fun, right?
Yeah.
Yeah? You think that's fun?
Yeah.
You gotta find your way out in the dark then.
Oh.
Oh, yeah. Small problem with that.
I find.
I'm like everything now.
So it's basically a flashlight, right? Completely adjustable, no batteries required. I'm gonna walk the path I would have walked that time. I'm imagining one of the first people in a cave ever been in here before. You don't know what you're going to find. There's all the light you have, see where you're going. But also, take a look around. See all the formations that have happened here. Look everywhere. Back this way. Walk down, right along here. And this little candle lantern is a decent amount of light, enough to see where I'm going. But it's not really enough to appreciate how pretty these formations really are. Even when you get right up on them, you still can't really appreciate them.
Did you just go in the water?
What was that?
Did you just go in the water?